Hello, everybody. Just wanted to chat for a bit today as I leave the gym. I was listening to an audiobook. I'm like midway through it. And it is called Let Them. Mel Robbins, I believe, is the author. But I thought she made a couple really good points, and they were very relevant to what I think a lot of people are going through right now. So I figured I'd share my thoughts. I'm going to do one long format video and try not to say 11 times. The book's premise is basically to control your controllables, right? So there's a lot of things in life we have no control over, but there are the things that we can control, which are our emotions and our reaction to people and our thoughts and feelings about certain things. And this is a little bit vulnerable, but that's what TikTok's for, I guess. I have a family member that I have always been very, very close to. We grew up together. It's one of the closest relationships that I'd ever had in my life with anybody, and the most long-standing. And throughout the last several months, probably since, I don't know, mid-year last year, mid-August, it's been almost a year that this has kind of been happening. But it really, our relationship took a very sudden turn. Something that I was not expecting. Some thoughts and feelings came out that I never realized this person had. And for me, I think I'm a control freak. I like to control everything. I like to fix everything. And so for me, I was very hurt by this and honestly caught off guard, but I'm also not a super emotional person. So I just I'm a very black and white, this is what it is kind of person. And so it was difficult for me to process because it wasn't something that I understood. Like, it was very out of the blue, out of nowhere, just kind of happened. And a lot of it stemmed around politics, which this is not a political post. Believe what you want to believe. I truly believe that this country is the greatest because everybody gets to pick whatever they want to believe. I don't need to dictate what you believe about anything. You don't need to dictate what I believe about anything, right? So that's always been my stance. But this person felt very passionate about, the political party that they were a part of, and it was just total disregard for any other opinion or thought or y'all are getting like true authentic me today, any thoughts or feelings from anyone else that was not a part of that camp. And so for me, I fell on, I guess, what you would call the opposite side. I mean, I really was probably closer to the middle than an opposite side. But, there were some thoughts and feelings that I had about certain things, which is fine. Again, we live in a country in which you get to decide what you believe and what you think. But for me, I had always respected people with other political views. I can love someone and have a full-blown relationship with them without the political climate of this country being a factor in that. I sympathize with some things that people go through with that, but I also have a belief system, which is fine. Again, we all get to believe what we want to believe, but at some point it became something that was not respected in the other direction. And so it was just kind of one of those things that I had to basically just say, hey, I love you and I respect you for who you are and what you believe. If you cannot do the same for me, that's a decision that you're making for yourself. And it just kind of got left at that. And clearly, there's been no pursuing a relationship outside of that from them. There's been no sort of like, hey, it's okay if you believe differently than I do. I love you. I know you're a good person. I've known you my whole life. Nothing like that. It's just been basically radio silence for several months. And not only that, but a lot of hate being spewed about just people in general, not necessarily me publicly, but just people of a certain group or faith or belief system being smeared, really, is what it comes down to online. And so I get screenshots a lot. I get people sending me things a lot of what this particular person is posting. And again, I believe that everybody should be able to post whatever they want, say whatever they want. It's a free country, but I also do believe that people of other belief systems need to be respected, and what they believe and think needs to be respected. And there's been a lot of generalization. So it's not, this one person is doing A, B, C, D. It is this entire group of people who has this certain belief system is doing A, B, C, D, which is not true, because there's a lot of people with this belief system that are genuinely the best people that I know. So all that to say, I was in this chapter of a book, and it was about dealing with difficult relationships in your life. And I felt like it was very eye-opening because it talked about point of reference, which I've tried to, basically walk a mile in someone's shoes, or feel why they're feeling this way, or be a little bit empathetic to what's going on in their lives, or why they would believe this certain way. And I think for me, this chapter and this just concept in general really hit home, because I do believe that there were things that happened in this person's life along the way that painted a very different picture than what I got painted in childhood. And things happened to them that didn't happen to me, and they have experiences that I don't. And so essentially, it's not necessarily meant to let someone steamroll you or make you feel like less of a person for the way that you feel, because I do have boundaries, and I'm not going to allow that to happen, which is kind of why I really haven't pursued that relationship, because that's not something that I need in my life. I don't have space for people who don't respect other people's opinions and thoughts. And so for me, that was just a toxic environment, but it does help me process what's going on and process what this person must be feeling. And I'm sure they're scared, and I'm sure they're upset with what's going on, because it feels very big to them. I have a totally different feeling and thought about a lot of these things, and I have a peace about whatever's going to happen. I do believe that whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I have a peace about it. It's completely out of my control, so I'm not going to try to control it. And I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to love my kids. I'm going to, encourage the people around me. I'm going to love my community. I'm going to do a great job for my clients at work. And that's all I can do. And so, this is a big rant and ramble. And if you're still listening, kudos to you. But it really I want to encourage people who are dealing with a difficult situation or a difficult relationship that just to take a minute, try to step back and understand their frame of reference, try to step back and see why they might feel this way about a certain thing, or why, they're acting this way towards you. And don't let that be permission for them to do things to you that you have boundaries for, but do let it, it allows you to let it go, right? Just let them do their thing. They have a reason that they're doing this. They have something in them that, is causing them to feel this way, and just let them. So I hope that this is encouraging. I'm always, hopeful, and honestly pray a lot that something is mended there one day, but also I have no control over that. I've done everything that I can do. I love this person. I respect their belief system. They're always welcome to have a relationship with me, but it will be a mutual respect kind of relationship. So anyway, I hope this is helpful for anybody who's dealing with a difficult relationship or a difficult situation, especially with your family. That's really hard, and hopefully this helped. So until next time.